Hi, I'm Pete, and this is a scramble and solve of the 3x3x8 cuboid, and this is by WitEden. So the 3x3x8 cuboid is just a straight up tower. There's no 90-degree turn because it has a symmetrical turn and it's an even height. You're not going to be able to have that full function. But there are quite a few cuboids that do give you full function, either an odd height or you get this, which is offset asymmetrical turning, and then you get the full function. So we're just going to treat this really like a very tall 3x3x4 or an even taller 3x3x2. Yeah, so that's the approach we're going to take. All right, let's just get this scrambled up. And so I've broken this in a bit. I think it could probably use a bit more breaking in. But, you know, I'm okay with it, right? It's not, I think it still could probably use a bit of breaking in. It's just a bit catchy still, but the face turns, which is the most important thing, are okay, are actually pretty good. I know I didn't really show it off in its best light there, but really they're pretty good. All right, hopefully we'll get a good solid scramble here. Yeah, so I really like this sort of puzzle. It's yeah, it's not very portable. Kind of. I'd be worried about putting it in a bag or whatever, but I do like it. Just kind of keep it on my desk, and I can do a little bit of it, and then go away and come back and do some more. It's not hard to kind of put away and come back to. I kind of like that. All right, just I'm gonna try a few more here. All right, and there is the scramble of the 3x3x8 cuboid. So the approach is really just going to be solving the middle two layers and then just working our way out, and we alternate doing centers and corners, and that's the entire approach. So I will put all my algorithms in the notes, including any that we don't cover in this solve, so that you'll have them. And I'm going to also show them on the screen as I'm doing it. So because this is a symmetrical turning, we kind of have to find out where it turns from. And well, that's easy to figure out because it's got 4 and 4, so it's actually just turning from kind of right there. Sort of between the two layers. So I'm going to start just below the middle, right? So it's the fourth row up. And we're going to take the same approach that I take when I'm solving the 3x3x4. I'm going to put in the centers. So because I'm doing yellow on the top, I got white on the bottom, and just you know, no reason to do one or the other, but I do need to know that because I need to know the colors, the order of the colors. So it's blue, orange, green, and red. So we have to fix the green here, and it means I need to find a green over here, and I see one. There we go, and then I'm going to bring it back. So now we have it, right? Blue, orange, green, and red. So now that I have those, I can start putting in the corners, and I'm going to use the centers as my to guide me, right? So I'm looking for a green and orange here, and in order for it to go in there, it has to be opposite. So this one, orange and green, that actually does go in there, and now I can do the corner swap algorithm that we use on cuboids to put this corner in here, and it also flips it upside down. So it's R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. There you go. And so that one's all nicely done. And I'm just going to go around the puzzle some more. And now I'm looking for, not this one, I'm looking for orange and blue. So I can try to find orange and blue. Now, you may not always have it. So here's an orange and blue, but because the two colors match, it's not the right orange and blue. So, and that's okay. That happens sometimes. So I'm just going to move on because, yeah, here's the one that we need over here. So I have blue and red. And so I need to find a blue and red. And likewise, is this one... it looks like it might match, but unfortunately the centers match, so it's actually the wrong one. That one actually belongs up top here. Okay, one more try here. We have red and green. Green and red, that looks good. So I'm actually going to put this one in. So it's R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. There we go. So that one's done. So now I can just go back to the ones that I missed out on, which is that one and that one, and see if things got any better. Let's see, I need blue and red. Okay, that one's good. So that's red and blue, and that'll go in there. So you can see why we need really good face turning. The layers is not quite as important. We don't do as much of it, but do a lot of face turning on this puzzle. Okay, so that was good. And now I'm looking for orange and blue. And hopefully, by now we should have it. Yeah, there it is, orange and blue. All right. And there we go. So that is the first layer. Now, every once in a while, it might happen that you have two that are swapped. And you just have to, put them up with something else. That can happen, and that's my fix for that. So if I've gone through all of these and I still don't have the right pieces, it's probably because I need to swap at least one of them into the top layer using some other piece that's wrong, and then I can put that in the proper spot and get the one I need for there. So now we have this layer, we've established that. We're going to do the next layer, and this one we do differently, and we first want to get as many corners as possible lined up, and these two are correct, so that's good. And I'll just rotate it around now, which means that these two corners have to be swapped. Okay, so you can have that. You sometimes have the diagonal corners that need to be swapped. But generally speaking, it's the two side corners. And so there's the cuboid corner swap, and I'm just going to go through that right now. And it'll just swap those two. All right, here we go. R2, U, and notice I'm holding the layer we already have done. R2, U prime, R2, U prime, and now the next one is D, which is the layer I was holding. So there's D, R2, U prime, R2, U, R2, D prime. Okay, and what that's done is it's fixed those two corners for us, and in fact the only thing left to do, this center is good, that center is good, so the only thing left to do is swap these this and that center. Now we have we can do center swaps, and there's two center swaps I have. There's the opposite and the adjacent. In this case we only need the opposite, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is probably the easier one, and that is R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2. There you go. Look at that. We have the first two layers done. Fantastic. So up till now, I haven't worried about parity, which some of these algorithms cause. They cause a flipped face on the right-hand side. And I haven't worried about that because there's nothing really to flip here, so it hasn't been an issue. But now when we move on, we're going to have to be concerned a little bit about parity. And what it just means is that I'm just going to keep, in this case, I'll keep the orange face to the front so that any parities that happen on the side, sometimes they get corrected, but in any case, I just want all the parities to happen on the same side so that, you know, there is a chance to either, we're only going to have parities in one place rather than having them two parities. That would be harder to fix. All right, now that we have that, then we're going to start below here, and that's how we're going to proceed. So I'm going to go doing the lower layers, and remember on the lower layers we do the centers first. So I'm going to just turn it just to see if we can get some sort of maximize the number of matches. I don't think it worked. No, we only have one that's correct, so that's okay. So using this, then we're going to be matching up here on the third layer. So this needs to be green. I see I have a green there, which is perfect. So we're just going to move it up, move it over and down so that green is matched. Now I need an orange. And I see I have an orange here, but I always prefer to take one off to the side if possible. I don't know, it's just the way I do it. So now we have that, and we're looking for a blue. There's a blue. Okay, yeah, so when you get so many layers together, it does kind of get a little bit, can get a little, it starts to separate a little bit at the top. Anyway, here we go. So we have all the centers, and now I've got to bring the corners in. And we're going to be going on the third layer. So I'm holding on to this. So I have orange and blue. So I'm looking for orange and blue. This is the right one because the colors are opposite. So we're going to do that same algorithm I showed before, the corner swap. And but we're going to do it on the third layer. So it's R2U, R2U prime, R2. Okay, so we have that now correctly in, and you'll see we have the parity where it's flipped those two layers above where we're working perfectly fine because we still have quite a ways to go yet. But this is why I'm just going to, in this case, I think I said before I'd use the green face. I just have the orange face, so we'll just go with that. But now what I want to do to access the next corner is turn this layer so that we can keep that parity on the right-hand side. So now I'm looking for blue and red, and I'm just going to see if we have it. There's blue and red, but it's the wrong one. That's it. You need the opposite. You need it flipped. So, okay, we'll just leave that for now. And I need red and green, and there it is. So there's the green and red up there. So I'll go ahead and put that one in. R-U. meant R2, U prime, R2. There we go. So that one's in. Nice. And I'm looking for green and orange. Okay, that's wrong. It's the opposite that we need. Okay, so I think I talked about this before. I'm gonna go back and see if maybe there's the other one is good, but I doubt it. So this is blue and red. Did we get that one? Yeah, okay, so I think I talked about that possibility before. So when this happens, basically all you can do is just take any piece from up here and put it in, because I think it's probably because we need that in the other spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip this one in. R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. So that didn't do anything, but now this, hopefully this green and orange is what we need. Yeah, there it is, green and orange, and indeed we needed that there. So I'll just pop that one in here. So it's R2, U, R2, U prime, R2, and we use that algorithm quite a bit. Okay, and the last one is blue and red, and there it is. So it's all set for us. R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. Awesome. Now we got to be careful because we have this parity here, so it can be confusing if you're trying to match it up, and it's like, wait a, so just keep in mind that you can have that parity. The rest of it is perfectly fine. It's just these two layers are flipped, but we're not done yet, so we have to go and finish this third layer on the top, and then see if we still have the parity, and if we do, we'll fix it. So remember now, when we go from the bottom to the top, we're going to solve the corners first. So I'm going to turn this, I'm going to try and line up as many corners as possible. Now this is correct. Remember, this layer is flipped. So because both of these are correct, I'm just going to turn this around, and I'm going to put the two corners that have to be swapped up here. And I'm going to go ahead and do the cuboid corner swap algorithm, and this is the adjacent. It's the same one we used before. It's the one that's the most common. All right, here we go. So it's R2, U, R2, U prime, R2, U prime. Now we're going to come back down here to the layer we were working on, the third from the top, the bottom, D, R2, U prime, R2, U, R2, and now D prime. And there we go. So, and what that did for us was got all of our corners sorted out, and it looks like we only have to swap the centers. So I'm just going to put that in here and go ahead and do the cuboid center swap here, and I think that might fix our parity case. But anyway, we'll see. All right. So this is front and back opposite cuboid corner swap. This is the short version, the short one. So this is R, U2, and that meant to be R2. R2, U2, R2, U2. Okay, well, didn't need to do that, but not only did it solve our parity problem, it also swapped not only did it swap our centers, it also fixed our parity problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to show a little B-roll here of how to fix this kind of parity if you do have it. All right, through the magic of special effects, here we are with what this would have looked like if we had the parity case after we finish this layer. So you see that the right-hand side has the inner layers flipped, and then everything above it that we were working on is correct. So the way we fix this is we move the parity to the F face, the front, and we just apply the even layer parity fix. Now, it starts off with 2 big U, little u. Now, what big U means is everything above the parity, so this and above. And little u means everything above the middle that is part of the parity. So in that case, it's just this one. What I've tried to do with the notation is just make it as simple as possible. So in this case, big U, little u just means turn the entire top half of the puzzle 180 degrees, so 2. Okay, so that's the first step. Then we're going to go R2, which is, here we go, do F2. Okay, and then we're going to do our 2 big U, little u again, which is just the top half of the puzzle. And now it says 2 big U, and what that is the part that we've already solved. and we're just going to turn that 180 degrees. So it's right above the parity. All right, now we just have to undo all of the face moves that we did. So we have F2, R2, and then 2 big U, little u. And there we go, all done. Fixed our parity, and it didn't hurt anything else. And now we're ready to start with the next pair of layers. All right, and now that we're back, we can go and work on the next layer, which is in this case layer 2. And again, we are trying to do the centers first. So I have an orange, I have a green, that's great. Okay, we need to fix that, and we need to fix that. So this is, okay. All right, well, I guess I'm not going to get my wish here. I'm going to have to move this aside and then go ahead and bring it up, put in my blue, and put it down. And I'll put the blue, and I'm going to have to put this aside, put it up, and put the red in. Okay, so now all my centers are good. And I'm going to try here to, okay, I'm just going to keep the orange to the front here, and I'm going to try and find an orange and a blue. And I can actually see the one I need is right over here, so that's not going to happen. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go over here, and I have a blue and a red. And here it is right here. That's the one I need. So we're going to do the same corner insertion algorithm. It's R2, U, R2, U prime, R2, and there's the one we need. Now that I have that out of there, I can actually go back and put in this one, orange and blue, and that's the blue and orange. That's the one that goes there. So it's R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. Fantastic. Okay, red and green. So, okay, there it is, green and red. And R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. Fantastic. And you'll notice we did get the parity there, which is fine. Wait, what did I do? Oh, okay, yeah, red and green. Okay, green and orange, which is that one. Okay, we're gonna go R2 U, R2 U prime, R2, and look at that, the parity went away. So that'll keep happening, and that's really why I want to keep it always on the right. So sometimes we can just get rid of it just by solving. Sometimes we have to address it. All right, so we've got this second layer done, and we're going to go back up here, and we're going to go back to our looking for the corners. And now I'm glad I get to show this, because now we actually have a diagonal corners. Okay, so I got it, but I gotta get it set up properly. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm looking for. So in this case, this corner and this corner, these two corners need to be swapped. And this is the way the algorithm I have works. It's the front right and the back left corner that it swaps. So you have to put the two good corners in the front left and the back right. So it just swaps those two. So okay, so it's a very similar algorithm to the other one. But anyway, so our D is this here. It's the second layer, which is the same layer as we're working on. So I'm gonna hold the puzzle just above that layer so that I can turn it. Okay, so here we go. So this is the diagonal swap, cuboid diagonal swap. So it's R2, U prime, R2, U prime, R2, U, R2, D prime, R2, U, R2, U prime, R2, D, R2. Fantastic. Took care of, there was no parity after that. I don't think we had one to begin with, but I see we have the opposite swap. Well, I haven't had to do an adjacent swap yet. Anyway, this is the adjacent center swap, and we'll do that. It's becoming very familiar at this point, I'm sure. So here we go. This is R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2. Oh, and look at that. We have the parity. And now in this case, everything is solved for those two layers. So if I were to go on and solve the last two layers, the problem is that now I could have another parity on these layers, and then I'd be stuck fixing that, and then I'd have to fix the inner one. I just think it's easier just to fix it as you go. So for the even cuboid parity fix, we see the part where we have the parity, and it's a kind of an important concept that everything above the part that's flipped is capital U on the list, okay? And everything above the center in the flipped part is the little u, and I think I'll try to make it clearer as I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm going to show you here. We have to put the flipped part, the parity part, on the front. I know it's caused on the side, but it's just easier to deal with it on the front. And it's a pretty short algorithm. Just got to make sure you get the right parts as you go through it. So the algorithm is, it's 2 capital U little u, which is the top half of the puzzle. It's very, very easy to remember. It's just the top half, and there you go. It's the top half. Okay. So now we do 2R, or R2, whatever. Yeah, R2. There you go. F2. There we go. 2UU. Now, this is what I've changed, okay? So I've changed it so it's a little easier to remember. 2UU, so that's the top half. Then it's 2U, which is the part that's above the flipped part. So it's these two layers, okay? I've just found that a little easier to remember. Okay, and now we just undo everything we've done. So it's F2, R2, 2UU, there we go, and that's it, and it's flipped. And that was the same algorithm that I showed in the previous B-roll. All right, well, look at this, almost done. Now it's time to solve the last 2 layers, and we'll just go right back to the way we were doing it before. We've got it's a little bit easier because now we can see the colors. This is the white, this is the yellow, so it just makes it just a bit easier, but still, right? So I want to find the orange and the white here. And I don't actually see it, so there's probably another. Yeah, here it is over here. Okay, so we'll try the blue and white, which is right there. So I'm just going to flip this up. Okay, blue and white. There we are. Okay, and okay, so this should be blue. Oh, okay, no, never mind. Blue. This red doesn't belong here. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and, oh my. All right, we're in one of these cases because all of these are white. I'm going to have to do something I've done before, which is just take some other piece and put it there just so I have a way to get the piece I need. So this is the red. There we go. So I put the red there. So now we have the red and white, the blue and white. Okay. Green. So I'm just going to move it out of the way. Turn this up. There we are. Okay, and I can see the orange and white there. So I'm going to turn that up. Okay, so now I have all of the centers, and just having that little bit of extra info helped me. Now it just so happened that I got these centers in correct, the yellow centers, but I wasn't trying to do that because that's a separate step. But anyway, it's just a nice coincidence. So now I'm going to put in the corners, and sometimes this can be pretty easy. So I have the green and red. So this is the red and green. So this is what I need here. I just use the same algorithm I used before. R2 U, R2 U prime, R2. So we have that. And now I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peek up here to see what the next one is. Orange and green. So I'm gonna actually find this is the orange and green corner here, and I'll put that one in. R2 U, R2 U prime, R2, and I'll peek up here. There's none left, so I'll just turn this one into the same spot, the blue and orange. So there's the blue and orange right there. R2 U, R2 U prime, R2. That one's done, and now I have red and blue. There it is. R2 U, R2 U prime, R2. Fantastic. So that's all done. We didn't have any parities there, but the solve is still young, as they say. So now that we've done the bottom layer, we're doing the top layer, and now we have to switch back to a corner, solving the corners first. I'm going to turn that in place. Look at that. Those are all nicely done. But we do have these two to swap. And so I'm just going to use the cuboid corner swap algorithm. Now, this is our U, and this is our D down here. So here we go. So it's R2 U, R2 U prime, R2 U prime, D, R2 U prime, R2 U, R2 D prime, and we have, it's almost done, have another opposite swap. So we'll go ahead and do the cuboid opposite swap. I'm going to do it from this side here. And this one is, again, this is the short version of there is an adjacent swap, it's just a little longer. So we'll do R2 U2, R2 U2, R2 U2, and the good news is that we have the top layer all finished, but the bad news, not really bad news, because we get to have fun solving this this parity. So we're going to apply this exact same parity algorithm that we applied before. So you see that it's this entire strip here. So our U is going to be this part, our U going to be this part, and our little u is going to be this part here, just the top half of the flipped part. All right, here we go. We put it on the front face, and we're going to say 2UU, so 2 big U, 2 little u, which is basically, it's always the top half of the puzzle. It's just a little catchy here. There we go, the top half. And now we'll go R2, F2, 2UU, so it's the total top half of the puzzle. And now we're going to go U2, which in this case is just this top. There we go. Okay. And now we're just going to undo it. So we're going to go F2, R2, and then 2UU. Nice. Okay, and that is the 3x3x8 cuboid. A lot of fun. You can really, you don't have to do all in one go. I very often I'll do the 2 inner layers. Maybe I'll go off and do something else, and then come back and do a bit more. It's just kind of a fun thing, just sitting on my desk beside my computer. I really enjoy this. It does get, because it's so tall, and the mechanism kind of in the middle here. So it does get a little catchy on the top layers, but it's still perfectly fine. And I think that there's still some room for taller ones, like a 9 or a 10, if WitEden would care to do it. This one does turn really smoothly on the faces. It's still a little catchy on the other layers, but it's really it's not bad, and it's really broken in quite nicely. Yeah, I really like this puzzle. All right, well, that's it for this video. I'm always curious to know what you think, so do let me know down in the comments. Do you like this sort of cuboid? Do you like the really tall ones? Would you like to see solves of some of the other ones, some of the asymmetrical ones, some of the full function ones? Yeah, just let me know what you think about all this in the comments, or any other puzzles you think you might like to see a solve of that I don't already have a solve. And any other questions or suggestions. And until next time, thanks for watching.